Welcome dear students of grade 11 Business and Accounting Studies class of St. Peter's College, Colombo, Nigampu branch. We will have already discussed the theoretical section of the preparation of financial statements. So today I am going to do the activity number 10 in your textbook with you in this video lesson. So here you can see this is the question. And once you get a question like this, first what you have to do is check what is required. Check the requirement of the question. So in this particular question, the requirement is to prepare the profit or loss statement for the year ended 31st December of that particular year and to prepare the statement of financial position. So having that requirement in mind, we can start reading whatever the information given in the question. So this question is for Bimali's business. The trial balance is extracted from the Bimali's business's books. So in the trial balance you can see there are several line items given. So if we can go through, it says capital, trade debtors, trade creditors, stocks, purchases, carriage inwards, sales commission, insurance expenses, rent, discount, rent income, discounts received, sales, discounts given, machinery and equipment, building, bank loan, interest expenses, bank overdraft, cash in hand, bad debts, salaries and bank charges in the trial balance with the figures are given here. And at the bottom of the trial balance, there is a special note given. It says assume that the entire stock has been sold out. So which means we don't have any closing stock at the end of the period. So if we can read out the trial balance carefully, you can see there are assets, liabilities, equity items, income figures and expenses. Everything, all the elements of accounting are there in this trial balance. So we have to keep in mind that we have to take only the income and expenses figures into the profit or loss statement, and assets, liabilities and the equity items will be taken into the statement of financial position. So having read the question carefully, we will move on to preparation of the two statements. Having read the question carefully, we will start off with our formats first. So you can see in the board I have drawn the format of profit or loss statement and the statement of financial position. So first what we have to do is, once we read the question and once we get to know about the requirement, based on the requirement we will prepare our formats ready to do the question. So here you can see in my profit or loss statement, I have put the name here, it's Bimali's business, and I put the name of the statement, it's profit or loss statement, and it is prepared for the year ended 31st December of that particular year. And I have drawn the format. In this format you can see that I have marked the sales here because it is usually there are some items which will usually come in the format. So we can mark those items well in advance before we start the question. Sales is a compulsory item, so I have marked with sales and put the blank to put the figure here. Then we have the cost of sales figure. So in order to arrive at the cost of sales figure, definitely we need the opening stock. So I have marked the opening stock here. Purchases also I have already mentioned, and I have left some space to mention if there are any other purchases related expenses coming in. Then the cost of goods to be sold can be arrived, and thereafter from that we have to deduct the closing stock. I know that in this question it's not there, the closing stock, but I have put the space to put the closing stock let's put it as 0 once we go into the sum. Then we have the cost of sales figure. It's already mentioned again, and then we know the resulting figure will be the gross profit. Then after that we have the profit or loss statement. Once we finish with the gross profit, we have to add the other income. So I have put the heading other income and left some space to put whatever the other income figures in the question. Then we have to deduct the expenses. So I have marked expenses and already categorized the expenses also, with leaving some space to put the line items. Then finally we can arrive at the net profit figure. Similarly, I have marked the format of the financial position also. So here also you can see at the beginning, on top of the statement, I have mentioned the name, it's Bimani's business, and the name of the statement, it's statement of financial position, and it's prepared as at 31st December of that particular year. So in the format, the first we should mention the non-current assets. So I have mentioned the topic non-current assets and left some space to put the line items. Then the non-current assets come in. So again I have mentioned the heading and left some space. The resulting total will be the total assets figure. Then after that we have the equity and liabilities. I have mentioned the heading. Then the very first item under that will be the opening capital. So I have marked that, and whatever the additions or deductions from the capital will come in. So I have left some space to put those adjustments. Thereafter the non-current assets. So again I have mentioned the heading and left some space. Then current liabilities, again left some space. The resulting total will be the total equity and liabilities. So now we have the formats ready. So let's start with the question. So let's look at the trial balance again. So the very first line item is the capital as at the beginning of the period. So check whether we have a space to put the opening capital. So here where should it go? It should go to the statement of financial position. So under statement of financial position, you can see there is a space to put the opening capital. So I will take the figure into that particular space. So our opening capital will be 400,000. So I will put it in the first column as 400,000 here. Then we have the trade debtors. Trade debtors will be a current asset. So let's go to the current asset section. In that we say it's trade debtors. And we'll put the figure, it's 34,000 in the first column. Then we have the trade creditors, which will come under current liabilities. So we'll mention as trade creditors. And it's 45,000. And the next item is stocks as at 1st of January 2000 of that particular year. So that will be our opening stock, which will go to the statement which will go to the profit or loss statement under cost of sales. So we have a space to put the opening stock. In that line we will say it's 16,000. That will come to the second column. Then we have the purchases. Soon after the opening stock, we have a space to put purchases. It's 395,000. Then we have some purchases related expenses, which is carriage inwards. So we have a space to put any purchases related expenses. So we'll mention that. Carriage inwards is 15,000. And the next line item is sales commission, which is a distribution expense. So let's go to the profit or loss statement. Under expenses, we have a space to put distribution expenses, and under that we'll mention sales commission. It's 9,000. We'll put it in the first column. Then we have insurance expenses, which is an administration expense. So again, under the profit or loss statement, under expenses and under the administration expenses category, insurance expenses, it's 12,000. Again, in the first column. Then we have rent income, which is an other income, again come under the profit or loss statement. So let's go to the place where we have to put the other income. Soon after the gross profit, we have a space to put other income, and under that we mention its rent income. And it is 30,000. We'll go to the second column and put it as 30,000. Then we have again another income, which is discounts received, again come under the same heading, other income. Discounts received, it's 6,000. Then we have the sales figure, which is the very first line item in the profit or statement of profit or loss, or else the profit or loss statement. So we have a space to put sales. It's 650,000. We'll take it to the third column. Then again we have an expense, which is discounts given, again come under the distribution expenses category. So let's go to that particular category there. Distribution expense, we have already put one expense, and the second one is discounts given. That is 3,000. Then our next line item is machinery and equipment, which is a non-current asset. So where should it go? It should go to the statement of financial position under non-current assets. So let's go to that particular section. At the beginning of the statement of financial position, we have a space to put non-current assets. So under that, we'll mention its machinery and equipment. And it is 120,000, so I'll take it to the first column. Then again we have another non-current asset, which is buildings. So let's put it here. It's 500,000. Then we have a bank loan, which is a non-current liability because it has to be settled after 4 years. So the due date will fall beyond 1 year. So it will go to the non-current liabilities. So let's go to the place where we should put the non-current liabilities. Again in the statement of financial position, under soon after the equity section we have the non-current liabilities, and under that we'll mention the bank loan, that is 160,000. Then we have interest expenses, which is a finance expense, which will go to the profit or loss statement. So under expenses, we have a category called finance expenses, and under that we will mention the interest expenses. It is 16,000, so I'll take it to the first column. Then the next line item is bank overdraft. So bank overdraft is a current liability which will go to the statement of financial position. So I'll go to that statement, and under the equity and liabilities section, the last category will be the current liabilities. So I'll go to that particular section and put the bank overdraft here. It's 20,000. Then we have the cash in hand, a current asset again, which will go to the statement of financial position. So I'll go to the section where current assets are there. So under that I'll put the cash in hand. $155,000. Then we have the bad debts again, distribution expense, which will go to the expenses in the profit or loss statement. So I'll go to the distribution expenses section, and under that I'll mention the bad debts. It's 7,000. Then we have the salaries, and it says it's administration salaries. So it will go to again under expenses, under the administration expenses category in the profit or loss statement. So I'll go to that section and put salaries. It's 25,000. The last line item in the trial balance, it's bank charges, again a finance expense which will go to the profit or loss statement under finance expenses category. Bank charges, it's 4,000. And it says the stocks has been all the stocks has been sold by the end of the year. So we don't have a closing stock here. So we can put it as 0 or put a dash here. So then we have already put whatever the line items given in the trial balance into the two formats. Now we have to do the additions and subtractions. So let's start with the profit or loss statement. We have the sales and we have to find out the cost of sales. So we have opening stocks, purchases and purchases related expenses. Add up 3 together. it comes to 426,000, which is the cost of goods to be sold, and we don't have a closing stock here. So our cost of sales figure will be 426,000. So we have to deduct that from the sales figure. We will end up with having 224,000 of gross profit. Then we'll go to the other income section. We have two other income figures. So we'll add those two together. It's 36,000. Add the other income to the gross profit. So our gross profit is 260,000. So then we will have to add up each category of expenses separately. So we have a total of 19,000 distribution expenses, 37,000 of administration expenses, 20,000 of finance expenses. All together we have 76,000 of total expenses. So we have to deduct that from the total of gross profit and the other income. We will end up with having 184,000 of net profit. That will be transferred to the owner's capital account. So we will take this 184,000 to the statement of financial position under opening capital. We can add the net profit. $184,000. We did not find any deductions from the capital, so that's all which will come under the capital section. So here, we have come to the statement of financial position and we have to do the additions here. We have 620,000 of non-current assets. $189,000 of current assets. Both together we have 809,000 of total assets. So you can see under in the line item total assets we have 809,000. Then let's go to the equity and liabilities section. We have 584,000 of closing capital. Then we have a non-current liability of 160,000. Then we have current liabilities of 65,000. So let's add 3 together. We have equity and liabilities total of 809,000. So you can see total equity and liabilities comes to 809,000. So you can see the total assets and total liabilities will be equal. So that is the answer for the activity 10 in your textbook. So I hope it's clear for all of you. So thank you very much and God bless you.